Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be including any sort of side-by-side video comparisons between 4K and 6K, uh, because mainly if you're watching this video, you're probably watching it on a smartphone or tablet, maybe a laptop, and in which case you're not going to really notice the difference between 4K and 6K, which is something I get into during the video. So also, I'm lazy. I don't want to do that much editing. So uh, so peep the video. 6K versus 4K. Is there really that big of a difference? Honestly, probably not, since many people watch content on their smartphone, tablets, laptops, or computer monitors, especially when it comes to YouTube. People aren't watching on screens larger than, let's say, 40 inches. But let's get mathematical about the differences. I have a feeling many think 6K is 1.5 times the resolution of 4K, since 4 times 1.5 equals 6. But what if I told you 6K is actually more than 2, maybe even almost 3 times the resolution of 4K? Because surprise, surprise, that is the case. So let's break it down. When finding out how much pixels are in an image, you multiply its width by its height. Simple enough. Standard 4K is 3840 by 2160. So multiply them and we get 8.3 million pixels. Seems like a lot, right? But if we're talking megapixels, that's 8.3 megapixels, which now doesn't seem like that much. But let's move to 6K. On your Lumix full-frame camera, standard 6K is 5,888 by 3,312. Multiply them and we get 19.5 million pixels. That's right, 19.5 million versus 8.3 million pixels. We get almost 2.5 times more pixels with 6K over 4K. But wait, there's more. When we look at 6K OpenGate, we have a resolution of 5,952 by 3,968. Multiply them and we get 23.6 million pixels. Compare this 23.6 million pixels in the 6K OpenGate video to the 8.3 million in standard 4K. It's around 2.8 times more pixels. From a mathematical standpoint, this is significant, right? But when viewing content on a screen that's not a really big flat screen TV, it's still not really noticeable, let's be honest. I'll admit that even as a Lumix fanboy. But this brings up another topic on my mind. Time for the smack talk. Are you really happy owning a camera that utilizes only 1/3 or 1/4 of its sensor resolution for video? Because 8.3 megapixels represents that much of a 24 or 33 megapixel sensor. And yes, I know the argument that the 4K video is oversampled from a 7K sensor. But guess what? 4K video in a Lumix camera, Nikon Z6 III, or any 24 megapixel camera is also oversampled, just that is from their 6K sensor. But I've noticed Sony shows like to brag about their oversampled 4K video like it's something that's exclusive to them, when in reality, any 4K footage out of a sensor with more than like 12 megapixels is oversampled to an extent. Don't be fooled by the Sony marketing team or any influencer into accepting no 6K or higher resolution just because they make you feel special about oversampled 4K video. Once again, any 4K footage out of a sensor that has more than like 12 megapixels is basically oversampled. Wouldn't it be nice if they just gave you 6K or more resolution without spending close to $4,000? Because you still get to keep that precious oversampled 4K, even if you have higher resolutions available. But hey, according to many Sony influencers, specs don't matter anymore. Kinda odd and suspicious that this is the case, now that Sony is getting surpassed in most of the specs department. But I guess it's just a coincidence, right? Anyway, that's it for this video. That's it for this session of Joe Talks, where I talk about random stuff. yeah, sayonara.